In this video, we will see how to use the mist into compositing. So here you can see into the view layers of the file that here you can enable a lot of things into the render layers. Like for example, you can enable the mist, or you can enable maybe ambient occlusion or things like that that you can add directly into the compositing. You can add direct, indirect, diffuse, glossy, transmission, some volumes as well. You have a lot of possibilities here to play with the rendering. But let's play just with mist and ambient occlusion to show you basically how it works. So when you made a little change here, for example, I did enable mist and ambient occlusion here. So if I want to just update this, I have to make a render again. So let's make a render again. Or if you don't make this, you will not have the values that works properly into decompositing. Okay. So good, we have our render that is done, and here what we have now into the render layers, we have the depth and we have the mist, and you can see the mist looks a little like this here. Or we have the ambient occlusion over there. As you can see, nice setup that we could use as well. Okay, so let's say for example here I will come back just with the mist. Okay, you can see that by default I have not a lot of information there because the depth of the mist is not big enough. Okay, so what we can do to manage that, you can go into the mist path here, and to see that into the layout here, you will have to measure basically how much you need here to have enough depth into that. Okay, so let's say here we come back into the world setting here, into the mist path, and maybe we will go until 50 to see if it works well. And let's see a little how it will appear now. So if I make F12 again, I will have to update that with F12. That's why it's good to play with really low values of rendering in the when you make your compositing. Like this, you are sure that you can play well with the settings. Okay, so let's try with this. Okay, we see a little more. Okay, it starts to be better. And let's go with this and add a color ramp into that. Okay, so as you can see here, now we can manage the depth a little better and see a little more what's happening. Okay, so you can increase or decrease this if needed. So in that case, I might increase a lot these values to start to see the mountains. So in that case, I will maybe put 20 and let's say 400 just to see the result and how it works basically after that. Let's make the render again. See if it will work well. And now after update, okay, so it's finished here. Now, if we come back and update that, we see a far more better result into that. Okay, so now what we will do, we will add these values here. So we might add some values just like here, for example. Okay, just the mist around here might be good. Okay, starts to look good here. And what we will do, we will add this into that one, into the foreground, just like this. So let's go into that, and I will just use a color mix add. So it will be a mix color, and I will use an add because I want only the white parts to appear. Okay, so I want just to mix this and that and see how it works now it will be a little like this. So I can play with the factor to have something less strong for sure. Let's put 0.1, something like that, just to have this kind of more misty things here, okay? What you can do as well is change the color of the mix by adding some, maybe you want something with orange keys or something maybe bluish like this, okay? Let's play a little with something a little bluish like that. Good, and now what we have in the end, it's this that we can remix with our background because we don't want the blue there into the sky, and here what we have will be something like that. After you just have to play a little with the settings. Maybe the mist is a little too much. 0.08 might be good, maybe. Yeah, I like it better. So okay, so before I mute this, before we had this, after we have this, okay? So it adds more depth into the image and make look the background here more realistic for these objects over there. So that's it for this one. So you can see that you just have to manage the mist pass here and the depth, and you will have something interesting. Let's say you would like to add some ambient occlusion into that too as well. So let's have a look into the ambient occlusion over there, okay? You can see it's a little noisy, but it looks interesting, honestly. So let's go for that and add some. So for this, you just have to use a multiply. So I would just duplicate this add here and change it to a multiply. And I will use basically this color over there into that image. So what we will have in the end of this one, okay, if I increase this, you will see this kind of darkness that will appear, okay? What is good is to put this before the mist, or you can see that it kills a little the mist, okay? So what is good is to put this one here, okay, and this one over there here with the mist and with the basic image over there. Okay, so now you can see that we have this multiply value that you can add to it, okay, just like this, and see the result after with the mist, okay? So now let's say we would like to add something like 0. So be careful because it kills a little the shadows if you add too much, but maybe something like 0.4 might be good in that case, okay? Let's see a little how it looks now. And we have to use not this one, but that one here with the color correction. Good. So now we have something interesting. So before we had this, okay, in the end of this one, after we change a little the RGB curves, after we add a little of ambient occlusion everywhere, and we add a little of mist into that. And then we can finally mix it into the alpha over, and it will give something like this, okay? So far, so good. Let's continue a little. Maybe I will add a little more colors, a little more lights into the global setting, just like this here. Looks a little better. Good. So now we have our basic setup, and we will continue now, and we will add more things into the next video. So into the next video, we'll see how to use the glare actually. So we can see some parts of the image are with lights, like here, okay? And here as well, we have some lights. So we will use these parts to make some glow and make it more interesting. So for this, it's a very basic technique, but works very well to add some glow or some more interesting stuff into your render. especially with shiny things. For example, if you render jewelry, it will work very well, but it will work for light as well to make some flares. Okay, so let's go with that.